The discovery. Maya Chen's boots crunched against the crystalline ground as she made her way deeper into Tunnel 47, one of the countless abandoned mining shafts that honeycombed New Prospect Colony. The harsh glow of her helmet lamp caught fragments of unutilium ore scattered across the tunnel floor, their dull purple surfaces barely worth the effort of collection. Like everything else on this backwater mining world, even the precious minerals were running dry. "Chen, you're approaching the end of your authorized zone," crackled the voice of station control through her comm unit. "Time to wrap it up." Maya ignored the warning, her eyes fixed on her scanner's readout. Something was different about this tunnel. The mineral composition was unlike anything she'd logged in her 3 years as a survey tech. The readings pulsed with an odd regularity that seemed almost artificial. "Chen, acknowledge." Station control's tone grew stern. "Received," she replied automatically, still advancing. "Just need 5 more minutes to verify an anomaly." The tunnel walls narrowed as she pressed forward, the rock transitioning from the usual stratified layers to something smoother, almost polished. Her scanner's readings grew stronger, accompanied by a low vibration she could feel through her boots. Whatever she'd found, it wasn't natural to this planet. The passage opened suddenly into a small chamber, and Maya's breath caught in her throat. The walls were perfectly hexagonal, covered in geometric patterns that seemed to shift and flow in her helmet light. At the chamber's center stood a pillar of black material that appeared to drink in the light, its surface marked with spiraling symbols that pulsed with a faint blue luminescence. "Chen, we're losing your signal. Return to." Static consumed the rest of the message. Maya approached the pillar slowly, her scanner forgotten at her side. The symbols reminded her of mathematical equations she'd studied in university, before the economic collapse had forced her to abandon her physics degree for more practical work. But these were far more complex, suggesting concepts that made her head spin when she tried to follow their logic. Her hand reached out almost of its own accord, fingers trembling as they neared the surface. The moment she made contact, the symbols flared to brilliant life. A surge of information flooded her mind. Images, concepts, and understanding that threatened to overwhelm her consciousness. She saw vast networks of tunnels like this one spanning the galaxy, left by a civilization that had vanished millions of years ago. She saw the true purpose of these installations and humanity's unexpected role in their grand design. Maya stumbled backward, breaking contact with the pillar. Her head throbbed with the aftermath of the connection, but her mind raced with the implications of what she'd discovered. This wasn't just some alien artifact. It was a key to technology beyond anything humanity had dreamed possible. Technology that, for some reason, seemed calibrated to interface with human consciousness in a way its creators hadn't anticipated. The colonists of New Prospect had always believed they were scratching out a living on the galaxy's worthless frontier. But Maya now understood that their worthless rock was anything but insignificant. And when word got out about what lay hidden in these tunnels, every power in the galaxy would come looking for it. Her hand shook as she pulled out her sample collection kit. She needed proof before reporting this, and she needed to document everything perfectly. The colony's survival might depend on how they handled this discovery. As she worked, her mind kept returning to the images she'd seen. Vast networks of tunnels, advanced technology, and humanity's strange affinity for it all. "Chen." The comm crackled back to life. "Final warning. Return to station immediately or face disciplinary action." Maya smiled grimly as she carefully collected her samples and began documenting the chamber with her helmet camera. "Returning now. Control. And you're going to want to call an emergency council meeting. I found something that changes everything." She took one last look at the pillar before starting back. Its symbols pulsed almost expectantly, as if it had been waiting all these millennia for someone like her to find it. Humanity had long wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now Maya knew the truth. They weren't alone, but more importantly, they might be far more special than anyone had ever imagined. The real question was, what would they do with that knowledge? And how would they handle the attention it was about to bring them? Maya squared her shoulders and began the long walk back to the station, her mind already working on how to protect her discovery. She had a feeling she'd just started something that would reshape humanity's place in the galaxy, assuming they were ready for the challenges ahead. The awakening. The new Prospect Colony Council chamber had never felt smaller than it did now, with its recycled air heavy with tension. Maya stood before the assembled council members, her collected samples laid out on the table before them, the holographic display of her helmet camera footage floating above. She had spent the last hour explaining her discovery, watching their expressions shift from skepticism to disbelief to something approaching fear. "Let me be clear, Ms. Chen," said Administrator Reeves, his weathered face tight with concern. "You're claiming this pillar not only communicated with you, but revealed the existence of an ancient alien network, one that supposedly spans the entire galaxy." "Not just revealed it," Maya replied, her voice steady despite her exhaustion. "It showed me how humanity fits into all of this. The symbols, the mathematical patterns, they're not just decorative. They're a language, a code that our brains are somehow uniquely suited to process. No other known species has reported this kind of interaction with similar artifacts." Dr. Sarah Martinez, the colony's chief scientist, leaned forward, her eyes bright with interest. "That would explain the unusual neural activity patterns we detected when you returned. Your brain scans show areas of activation we've never seen before. It's as if the contact rewired certain neural pathways, but in a controlled, deliberate manner. Which is precisely why we need to quarantine this discovery immediately," interrupted Security Chief Kang. "If what Ms. Chen is saying is true, every major power in the galaxy will want control of this technology. We're not equipped to handle that kind of attention." Maya shook her head. "It's too late for containment. The energy signature from the activation was significant. Any sophisticated scanning system within several light-years would have detected it. We don't have much time." As if to emphasize her point, a soft chime echoed through the chamber. "Administrator," announced the colony's eye, "we're receiving multiple incoming transmission requests from off-world. 3 from the Galactic Corporate Alliance, 2 from the Centaurian Collective, and 1 from the Archivists." A heavy silence fell over the room. The Archivists were among the oldest and most mysterious species in known space, self-appointed custodians of galactic knowledge. They hadn't communicated directly with any human colony in over 50 years. Administrator Reeves ran a hand through his gray hair. "How long until the first ships could reach us?" "The nearest corporate vessel could arrive in 72 hours, Chief Kang replied. "The others, perhaps a week. The Archivists, they have technology we don't understand. They could be here tomorrow, or they might not come at all." Maya stepped forward, placing her hands on the council table. "Then we have 72 hours to prepare. The pillar didn't just show me the network, it showed me how to access it. There's more in those tunnels than just that one chamber. If we can understand enough of it before they arrive, we might have a chance to negotiate from a position of strength." Dr. Martinez nodded slowly. "The neural changes in Maya's brain appear stable. If we could study them, understand how the technology interfaces with human consciousness. You want to expose more people to an alien influence we barely understand," Chief Kang demanded. "I want us to understand what we're dealing with," Maya countered. "Whatever this is, it was meant to be found. The mathematical principles, the neural interface, it's all configured in a way that suggests the builders knew humanity would eventually discover it. They left this for us." Administrator Reeves stood, his decision visible in his stance. "Dr. Martinez, assemble a research team. Chief Kang, begin emergency security protocols. I want those tunnels locked down. Ms. Chen, you're now our chief expert on this technology. Work with the research team. Figure out what we're dealing with." He turned to face the window, looking out at the dusty surface of their seemingly worthless mining world. "The galaxy's about to change, and like it or not, New Prospect is going to be at the center of it all. Let's make sure we're ready." As the council dispersed, Maya felt the weight of responsibility settling onto her shoulders. The images from her contact with the pillars still swirled in her mind. Vast networks, incredible technology, and humanity's peculiar place in it all. She knew there were more chambers, more pillars, more secrets waiting in the tunnels below. The question was, could they unlock enough of them before the galaxy's powers arrived to claim them? She caught her reflection in a darkened display screen. Tired eyes, dust-stained mining uniform, neural monitoring patches still attached to her temples. She hardly looked like someone about to help reshape humanity's place in the galaxy. But then again, maybe that was the point. Maybe humanity's strength had always been in finding extraordinary potential in the most ordinary places. Maya squared her shoulders and headed for the research lab. They had 72 hours to change the course of human history. It was time to get to work. The challenge. 3 massive ships hung in New Prospect's orange sky, like dark stars, their hulls gleaming with the reflected light of the setting sun. Maya watched them from the research center's observation deck, her fingers absently tracing the neural interface patch at her temple. In the 72 hours since her discovery, she'd managed only a few hours of sleep, pushing herself to understand as much of the alien technology as possible before the inevitable arrivals began. The corporate delegation is requesting permission to land, announced Dr. Martinez, joining her at the window. The scientist's usual pristine lab coat was wrinkled, dark circles under her eyes matching Maya's own. The Centaurians are maintaining orbit at the archivist vessel. She trailed off, frowning at her datapad. What about it? Maya asked, though she already suspected the answer. It's just gone. Disappeared from our sensors about an hour ago. Could be cloaking technology, could be they left. With the archivists, you never know. Maya nodded, her attention drawn to the subtle pulsing of the neural patch. Thanks to Dr. Martinez's modifications, she could now maintain a constant low-level connection to the alien network without the overwhelming flood of information she'd experienced during first contact. The knowledge came in manageable streams, like whispers in the back of her mind. They're here for the interface protocols, she said quietly. The corporations think they can replicate the technology, mass-produce it. They don't understand that it's not the technology itself that matters. It's humanity's unique ability to use it. The door slid open, admitting Administrator Reeves and Chief Kang. The security chief's uniform was impeccable as always, but the administrator looked like he'd aged years and days. The corporate delegation is landing in 20 minutes, Reeves announced. Their negotiator is Helena Vale. She represents a consortium of the largest companies in human space. The Centaurians are sending. He checked his notes. Something that translates roughly to seeker of profitable ventures. And the archivists? Chief Kang asked. Nothing. Not a word since their initial transmission. Reeves straightened his jacket. What's our position, Dr. Martinez? The scientist activated a holographic display, showing the latest test results. In the past 72 hours, we've confirmed that the neural interface only works with human brain patterns. We've tested it against all available alien neural mappings in our database. Nothing else is compatible. More importantly, we've discovered that the network contains vast amounts of scientific knowledge, but it can only be accessed through direct neural connection. Which means we're the only ones who can use it, Maya added. The question is, why? Why would an ancient alien civilization create a network that only humans could access millions of years before humanity even existed? A soft chime interrupted their discussion. Administrator, the colony AI announced, the corporate shuttle is on final approach. They're requesting your presence in the landing bay. Reeves nodded grimly. Time to face the music. Ms. Chen, Dr. Martins, with me. Chief Kang, maintain full security protocols around the tunnel complex. The landing bay was the largest open space in the colony, though it felt cramped with the sleek corporate shuttle taking up most of it. Maya watched as the vessel's hatch opened with a soft hiss, revealing a tall woman in an immaculate business suit. Helena Vale moved with the fluid grace of someone who'd spent most of their life in low-gravity environments, her smile perfectly calculated to put others at ease. "Administrator Reeves," she greeted, extending a manicured hand. "On behalf of the Galactic Corporate Alliance, thank you for hosting us. We're very interested in discussing the mutual benefits of your recent discovery." Before Reeves could respond, a strange harmonic tone filled the bay. The air shimmed like heat waves rising from hot ground, and suddenly there was another figure standing among them. Tall, crystalline, with multiple limbs that seemed to shift and change even as Maya watched. The archivist had arrived. "The time of revelation approaches," it said, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. "The seeds planted so long ago begin to bloom." Helena Vale's perfect smile faltered slightly. This wasn't part of her script. Maya felt the neural interface pulse stronger, responding to the archivist's presence. Knowledge flooded her mind, not overwhelming this time, but urgent, insistent. She understood suddenly that this moment, this confluence of powers and interests, was not random. It had been planned, set in motion millions of years ago by the builders of the network. "You knew," she said to the archivist. "Your people knew about this, about humanity's connection to the network. You've been watching us, waiting for this moment." The crystalline being's form rippled in what might have been acknowledgement. "We are the Watchers, tasked with observing until the inheritors found their legacy. Now you must prove worthy of it." Helena Vale stepped forward, her composure recovered. "Whatever technology exists here falls under corporate jurisdiction according to galactic law. We're prepared to offer very generous compensation." "Your laws are meaningless here," the archivist interrupted. "This is older than your civilizations, older than ours. The builders chose humanity as their successors. Now they must prove themselves worthy of that choice." Maya felt the neural interface buzz with increasing intensity. More knowledge flowed into her mind. Challenges, tests, trials that would determine humanity's readiness to claim their inheritance. The network wasn't just a library or a tool. It was a key to unlocking humanity's true potential. "How?" she asked the archivist. "How do we prove ourselves worthy?" The crystalline being's form shimmered again. "You already begin to understand. The trials await in the depths. Gather your best minds, your strongest hearts. You have one orbital cycle to prepare. The other species will observe. This is your species' trial alone." With another harmonic tone, the archivist vanished, leaving them in stunned silence. Helena Vale's perfect mask had cracked completely, showing real fear beneath. The Centaurian ship above had moved closer, its sensors undoubtedly recording everything. Maya touched her neural interface, feeling the knowledge of the trials settling into her mind. They would need the best humanity had to offer. Scientists, engineers, philosophers, warriors. The network had chosen their species for a reason, and now they had to prove that choice right. "Well," Administrator Reeves said into the silence, "I believe our negotiations just became much more complicated. The revolution. The orbital cycle passed like a fever dream. New Prospect, once a forgotten mining colony, had transformed into humanity's proving ground. Ships arrived daily, bringing the best minds Earth and its colonies had to offer. Quantum physicists, archaeologists, military strategists, and more. The once quiet tunnels buzzed with activity as humanity prepared for whatever trials awaited them. Maya stood in what they now called the interface chamber, surrounded by dozens of neural-linked researchers. The original pillar's glow had intensified over the past weeks, its symbols now casting blue light across intent faces. Dr. Martins moved between them, monitoring neural readings and coordinating the massive flow of information they were receiving from the network. "It's incredible," Martins said, reviewing the latest data. "Each person interfaces with the network differently. The mathematicians see equations, the engineers see schematics, the linguists see patterns of communication. It's like the network adapts to each individual's way of understanding." Maya nodded, watching the teens work. Her own connection to the network had deepened, revealing layers of meaning she'd initially missed. "It's not just giving us information," she said. "It's teaching us how to think differently, how to see beyond our current limitations." The chamber's entrance slid open, admitting Administrator Reeves and a new group of observers. The Centaurian delegate towered over them, its crystalline form refracting the pillar's light. Behind them came Helena Vale, her corporate poise somewhat diminished after weeks of watching humanity make breakthroughs her employers couldn't access. "The archivist has returned," Reeves announced without preamble. "They say it's time." Maya felt her heart rate spike, but years of survey work helped her maintain her composure. "What's the challenge?" As if in response to her question, the pillar's glow intensified dramatically. New symbols appeared, spiraling across its surface in complex patterns. Every neural-linked researcher gasped simultaneously as information flooded their minds. It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Liu, the quantum physicist from Luna Base. "The unified field theory, the dark energy equations, they're all there, but they're just the beginning." "The propulsion systems," added Engineer Santos, her hands moving through the air as if manipulating invisible machinery. "They fold space itself, but not like our crude FTL drives. This is something entirely different." Maya absorbed it all through her own connection, understanding flowing into her mind like water. The network wasn't just giving them advanced technology. It was showing them how to fundamentally reshape their understanding of the universe. The archivist appeared in their midst without warning, its crystalline form pulsing in harmony with the pillar. "The trial begins. Show us how humanity builds upon knowledge. Show us what you create when given the tools of creation itself." Maya stepped forward, suddenly understanding. It's not about simply using what they left us. They want to see what we'll do with it, how we'll make it our own. The knowledge in her mind crystallized into clarity. The builders hadn't chosen humanity because they were the most advanced or the most powerful. They'd chosen them because of their creativity, their ability to take existing ideas and transform them into something new. "Everyone, focus," she called out to the linked researchers. "Don't just accept the knowledge. Question it, combine it, push it further. Show them how humanity innovates." The chamber erupted into activity. Researchers called out to each other, sharing insights and building on each other's ideas. The neural network hummed with energy as human minds took ancient knowledge and began to reshape it, improve it, combine it in ways its creators had never imagined. Dr. Martinez's monitors lit up with unprecedented neural activity. "The network, it's responding to our innovations. It's learning from us as we learn from it." The archivist's form rippled with what might have been surprise. The Centaurian delegate stepped back, its crystalline surfaces reflecting the increasingly intense light. Even Helena Vale watched in silent awe as humanity proved they could do more than simply inherit advanced technology. They could revolutionize it. Hour after hour, the breakthroughs continued. Quantum physicists proposed modifications to the builder's field equations. Engineers found ways to improve their space-folding technology. Linguists discovered patterns in the builder language that even the original creators hadn't recognized. "This is why they chose us," Maya realized, watching humanity's potential unfold around her. "Not because we were special, but because we never stopped trying to make things better, to push boundaries, to find new ways forward." The pillar's light had become almost blinding, the symbols moving so fast they seemed to blur together. The neural network buzzed with the combined creativity of dozens of human minds working in harmony, each contributing their unique perspective to push the boundaries of what was possible. "Enough," the archivist announced, its mental voice carrying a note of what might have been satisfaction. "The trial continues, but this phase is complete. You have shown us something we did not expect." "Which is?" Administrator Reeves asked. "That the builders chose better than they knew. They left you tools, expecting you to use them. Instead, you improved them. You see not just what is, but what could be." This is a quality even they did not possess. Maya felt the truth of it resonate through her neural connection. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their ability to use advanced technology, but in their drive to understand it, question it, and make it better. The revolution wasn't in the technology they'd gained. It was in proving that humanity could contribute something unique to the galaxy's future. They weren't just worthy of inheriting the Builder's legacy. They were worthy of building upon it. But as the excitement of discovery buzzed around her, Maya felt a new understanding coming through her neural link. This was only the beginning of the trial. The real test, the one that would truly determine humanity's place in the galaxy, was still to come. The ascension. The final test came without warning. Maya was in the interface chamber, coordinating with research teams when every neural link suddenly went dark. The pillar's glow faded to a dim pulse, and a deep rumbling shook the colony to its foundations. "Emergency protocols engage," announced the colony eye, its voice eerily calm. "Multiple subterranean structures activating. Unknown energy signatures detected." Through her neural link, Maya felt it. The entire network was changing, transforming. The knowledge they'd been given was just preparation. Now came the true trial. "All personnel, evacuate the tunnels immediately," Chief Kang's voice crackled over the comm. "We have massive structural changes occurring throughout the complex." Dr. Martinez's monitors showed the underground complex restructuring itself, ancient machinery coming to life after millions of years of dormancy. The single chamber they'd been studying was just one node in a vast underground complex that was now awakening. The archivist appeared, its crystalline form pulsing with urgent light. The final trial begins. The Builders left more than knowledge. They left a threat that only their chosen successors could face. "Now you must prove not just your ability to learn, but your worth to join the galactic community as equals." As if on cue, new readings appeared on Martinez's screens. Energy signatures matching Builder technology are appearing all across the galaxy, she reported, her voice tense. "Whatever's happening here is happening everywhere." Maya's neural link flared to life, filling her mind with understanding. The Builders hadn't just vanished. They'd left a failsafe. If their chosen successors proved unworthy, the failsafe would activate, using their own technology against them. The entire galaxy was at risk. "They're testing our responsibility," Maya realized. "Not just our ability to use their technology, but our wisdom in using it." Administrator Reeves stepped forward, his face grim. "How long do we have?" "Hours," the archivist replied. "Perhaps less. The failsafe is designed to escalate until either it is stopped or its task is complete." Helena Vale's corporate mask cracked completely. "Can't you stop it? Your people have been watching this technology for millions of years." "We cannot," the archivist said simply. "We are observers, not inheritors. This trial is for humanity alone." Maya felt the weight of billions of lives settling onto her shoulders. Through her neural link, she could sense the failsafe's power growing, threatening to tear apart the delicate fabric of space-time itself. The Builders had created it as the ultimate test. Any species worthy of their legacy would have to prove they could handle its responsibility. "Everyone with a neural link, connect now," she commanded. "Dr. Martinez, coordinate the data flows. We need every perspective, every insight we can get." As researchers reconnected to the network, Maya felt their minds joining with hers through the interface. The knowledge they'd gained, the innovations they'd made. It all began to flow together. Scientists, engineers, philosophers, and soldiers, all contributing their unique understanding to the whole. "The failsafe," Dr. Liu called out, his mind racing through quantum calculations. "It's not just a weapon. It's a key. The Builders created it as a lock that could only be opened by minds capable of understanding its full complexity." Engineer Santo's consciousness joined the flow. "The space-folding technology we improved. We can use it to reach all the failsafe nodes simultaneously. But we'll need perfect coordination." Through their combined consciousness, Maya saw the solution taking shape. It wasn't about fighting the failsafe. It was about proving they could understand it, control it, and choose not to use its destructive potential. The builders hadn't just been testing their intelligence or innovation. They'd been testing their wisdom and responsibility. Everyone, focus, Maya called out, both aloud and through the neural network. We need to synchronize our improvements to their technology across all nodes. Show them we can use this power not to destroy, but to create. The chamber hummed with energy as dozens of human minds worked in concert, their enhanced consciousness spreading through the builder network. They weren't just trying to stop the failsafe, they were transforming it, using their unique ability to improve upon the builder's work to turn a weapon of last resort into something new. The archivist watched in silence as humanity faced their final trial. The Centaurian delegate's crystalline form vibrated with tension. Even Helena Vale stood transfixed as the chamber filled with light. Hours compressed into moments as human consciousness expanded through the network. Maya felt every mind connected to hers, each contributing their unique perspective to the whole. They weren't just proving they could handle the builder's legacy, they were proving they could transform it into something better. With a sound like a crystal bell ringing across the galaxy, the failsafe transformed. Where there had been weapons, there were now bridges between stars. Where there had been destruction, there was now creation. Humanity had taken the ultimate test of power and turned it into an opportunity for growth. The light in the chamber faded to a steady, peaceful glow. Maya felt the neural network pulse with a new energy, not the ancient power of the builders, but something new, something uniquely human. The trial is complete, the archivist announced, its mental voice carrying a note of genuine emotion for the first time. You have proven yourselves not just worthy of the builder's legacy, but worthy of building your own. Maya looked around the chamber at the exhausted but triumphant faces of her fellow humans. They had faced the ultimate test, not with force or fear, but with creativity, cooperation, and wisdom. They had proven that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in their ability to use power, but in their ability to transform it into something better. So what happens now? Administrator Reeves asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. The archivist's form shimmered with what might have been a smile. Now you take your place among the stars, not as inheritors of an ancient legacy, but as creators of your own. The galaxy awaits, and humanity has proven they are ready to help shape its future. Maya felt the truth of it through her neural link. They had done more than pass a test. They had proven that humanity's unique gift wasn't just in their ability to use technology, but in their ability to see beyond its original purpose, to imagine new possibilities, and to work together to make those possibilities real. The age of humanity had begun, not with conquest or destruction, but with transformation and creation. And as Maya looked up at the stars through the colony's dome, she knew that this was just the beginning of their journey.